Good day to you and welcome to the Bridge to Freedom, another episode this morning, this afternoon, this evening, wherever you are in the world. You are welcome to this edition on Persevere in Purpose. Persevere in Purpose. Thank you for joining us from wherever you're joining. We are excited that you're part of this series and there's many more to come. We are appreciative of those who have joined the group. And of course, starting on Thursday, we will start the coaching session, which will be a half an hour with yours truly and a few other leaders at various times. So once again, welcome to Persevere in Purpose. The word persevere means a lot of things to a lot of people. For me, that word stands out in everything that I've experienced, that I will experience, is that ability to be persistently focused, tenaciously engaged in seeing an impact that's beyond self. So that made me to even go one step to say, you know what? Because this word means so much to me. I wrote a book. I authored a book called Perseverance, Winning Key to Your Destiny. And I wanted to just show you that book. It's on Amazon, of course. For those of you who are part of this journey, you will get to read the book. You will get to have access to download it because this is a practical opportunity for us to learn from each other. And I'm already learning from some of you, many of you I will learn from, and from some of our lined up speakers, you're going to learn from them. And they are looking forward to learning from you too. So, welcome again. We have a link that will be scrolling. I ask that you please pay attention to that and see how you could join the Bridge to Freedom program. Goal is to have 200. The first 200 people would join and we'll start this journey together. And welcome to those of you who have joined. And on Thursday, we get to engage after the initial setting. So what does perseverance mean to you? When you listen to this in the future, just kind of chat it up. Tell us, when you think of persevering, what comes to mind? When you think of purpose, what comes to mind? Of course, we hear these words, but we are using these words intentionally. You might have your mind set to some particular big goal, and you're thinking, can I get it done? I want to submit to you that you will be able to get it done. The time frame might need to shift a little. Your network of people that you work with might need to shift. Your your goals, your priority might need to readjust it. You might need to readjust it, but it is possible to hit those big goals. It is possible, but a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. It's just that one step, and that's what Bridge to Freedom program brings to you, that ability to start the way you are, to know that you have what it takes to be definitely able to carry that journey with yourself. But sometimes the path to success, it's a lot of stories in it. It could be a lot of rocky settings. And when you're rocking, of course, when you're rocking, you don't always feel like there's going to be a fall. Like my mother would always say, when you're on the top, be careful how you treat others. Because when you're on the top, that's the maximum. But adventure, you have to experience a downward turn. When you have helped people believe in themselves and you've helped them stay on top and giving your best, she said they will rock you like this, that you never feel like you're falling, because you won't fall. Everybody's going to step in and step up and do one thing or the other to help you refocus. Are you in that boat that you feel like, you know what? There's such a big goal. I've been through this. I've persevered. I'm saying to you, you've got to be in purpose. Check your purpose. Check your purpose. Your authenticity must never be rocked, because that's what's going to help you birth that purpose. Your purpose will be different than mine, but I beg to say that all of us want to make the world a better place. All of us want to leave a legacy. All of us want to be a contributor to something that's bigger than us. Majority of the people I know, they want to do that. And I know you know people who want to do that. But you know what happens when life is showing up, when they're in that life situation that's rocking them? Hopefully it's not going to make them have that Humpty Dumpty fall. If they listen to what my mother told me, it would never be a Humpty Dumpty fall. It will be a rock and roll, rock, 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 till you figure that, you know what, I don't want to rock. I just want to be stable. But at least that's more positive. That's much better than just having a Humpty Dumpty fall. Defining your purpose, that's a tall order. That is a tall order. People have asked me, how do you find your purpose? What do you need to do? I can't give you all that answers, but I can tell you for sure that we all have a purpose. And I can tell you what I did and what I'm doing to constantly align in my purpose, to stay in my lane, I call it. Sometimes those lanes might look like you're in so many things, but a purpose that's not bigger than you, it's not worth living, because it's just going to be something you can achieve and you still will feel like something is missing. But when you are in purpose, you've probably had this so many times, people saying, oh, if your dream doesn't scare you, then you clearly have not a big dream. You have a story. You have a dream that's not big enough. But when your dream scares you, guys, then you know that this is a purpose-driven dream, because it's going to outlive you. It should outlive you. It should set something going that you now can take on and go. And persevering in purpose is going to birth a lot of things in you that the world would need. Some people that you bless might never see you face to face. They might never have a conversation with you one-on-one. You might never see them physically. It took me so many years of following now my mentor, Les Brown, before I physically saw him. It took me so many years to follow him, because for those of you who remember my story, I was never a communicator. Growing up as a young girl, I didn't have to struggle for a lot of attention. Things automatically, I got attention. I didn't have to ask for it. So I just thought that that was life, and I got what I needed to be and grow. But coming to America in quest of education, and of course being in corporate America, I learned quickly that I couldn't be that quiet, timid, don't want to talk, hardworking introvert. I had to lend my voice to the world. Hence my reason for wanting to see how can I do that. And I started with the Dale Carnegie, and then of course the good old Les Brown, was following him online. And as the universe will have it, I got nominated to go on to a training at one of our centers here representing the bank. And who was one of the speakers? It was called the Showcase Arena in my area of town. Who was one of the speakers? Les Brown. And now I got to see him live, and I heard him doing his thing, still does his thing up till today. And I'm like, I want to meet this guy. And of course, I still couldn't get close to him because they were on stage. I was just in the regular audience. And when the event is over, it's not now that maybe speakers will hang around and talk to as many as they can. In those days, everybody quickly whisked whoever the speakers were behind the curtain, and I was not in the VIP section. So there was no way I could do that. But I just kept on watching and doing whatever I need to do through the social media. And in those days, there was not a lot of it. And one day he showed up in my church as one of the speakers at one of our programs. I'm like, yes. And I knew I got him that time because all I had to do was take a listen, went through the program, and as soon as he was done, he went up to the minister's line, to my pastor's office. And of course, yours truly wasn't going to just let that time pass. I quickly jumped on the elevator, made my way up, and I told my pastor, guess what? I have been looking for this man, to meet him one-on-one, to talk to him, to have him mentor me. And of course, if anybody knows my history, my pastor is one of my supporters and my cheerleaders. And of course, he gave that access for me to one-on-one connect. And I went through his program and all those great programs, the Platinum Speaker program, which cost me a whole lot of money. But today I'm thankful that I went through that. So what am I saying? I had to persevere to be able to find what I needed, because I needed to find my voice. I knew somebody out there needs to learn the experiences that I was going through. Even though I couldn't express it to people, I knew this day that we have right now would come. So hence my journey to Dale Carnegie and so on and so forth. But I had to persevere strong enough because I knew my purpose. I knew that my purpose was attached to my ability to voice my experience, because it's not about me. It's about people coming behind me or beside me to know that if Remy can do it, I can do it. I can do better. And that was always my driver. And hence, I got into that space. And now I know what my passion is. When people ask, what do you do? I'm a people developer. I like to help people birth their greatness, to find their purpose, because I know there's beauty in diversity. When you find your purpose, I find my purpose, and together we blend it together. We can live in an authentic way. We do not have to hate. And another mentor that I recently connected with, he's all about happiness. And I 100% believe that happiness is so needed. And one thing he said to me, he said, Remy, a lot of people carry hate. They don't understand how to love, how to do this, how to do that. For you to find your purpose, you have to have a caring heart. You have to be willing to volunteer strategically. You've got to do that, because if you don't, you won't be tolerable to help other people go through what they need to go through. Keep your head down and focus sometimes. Of course, you always hear, keep your head high up. Yes, but when you are focusing and trying to truly grind and say, what is it, that thing that I would do even if I didn't get paid for it? What is that thing? You're the only one that has the answer. I'm not saying don't get paid. There's nobody wants to work for free, but there's a moment that you've got to be grounded enough that you're focusing on developing yourself, on finding what is that one thing that you won't need to get paid to do. And once you find it, you keep grinding at it. And do not give up. Don't let distractions get you distracted. Don't let the haters or the distractors get you not focusing on your goals, because they don't know what your goals are. They think they know you most of the time. Where you would find your bearing will be the Bridge to Freedom program, because we will all keep it as real as it is. And I'm sure most of you who are already in, you've watched me up to this far. And there's still much more unfolding, because it's not about that individual life that you see here. It's about expansion of that, seeing the next generation, carrying on the baton, doing things that are bigger than themselves. And I'll have a little proud mama moment. 2 of my kids are currently part of something that's bigger than themselves, representing their various companies at the Afrotech. To me, that's a big deal. That is a succession plan. They're not in my space of maybe the political space or the community, but they are also philanthropists in their representation of their companies. That is what we're talking about. We're talking about a life that's bigger than us. Perseverance will help you do that. Do not give up on anything that you have dreamed of. Your distractions and your distractors are part of the process. They are. That's part of the journey. If those distractors are not there and those distractions are not there, you're going to think, oh, it's business as usual. You'll never stop and validate who you are, your authentic self. You will never stop and validate that there's a supreme being greater than you who you have to anchor your faith on. You're always going to think it's all about what you can do. No, it's not about what you can do. We are enjoying the grace, the enabling grace of a supreme power that's greater than all of us, that enables us. So as long as we know that's the case, I didn't say the supreme power of an individual, because there's not an individual that I know and will ever know who can be your problem solver when they also have their own problems. If you hit them when they're having their problems, you're not going to be the priority. Not that they don't love you, but it just won't be that. You have to remove the log in your eyes before you can remove the specks in others. So it's very important for you as an individual to know that you have to depend on something and someone greater than you, and that those distractions and distractors are part of it. And don't write them off. Do not write them off, because they're going to leave well enough to be converted to see the greatness of who you are and what you can do for the world, not for you. It might take them a minute. It might take them being enlisted in that disruptor column. But don't hate on them. You just keep doing you. Keep doing you. Keep doing you. Keep persevering through when you really want to tell them where they belong. And you're like, oh my God. You hold your breath. As you hold your breath, you look up to that who is greater than you and I. And then you just take a deep breath and keep it moving. When the path is difficult, guys, it is equally difficult to say that you're going to persevere, you'll be persistent. Persistent in what? When is not working, at least at that moment. What is that energy that gives you the ability to say, you know what, it's not working for this moment? Sometimes we never know when it would work. As long as we don't lose hope and think that, oh, it won't work because of this and that, or you're pointing fingers because this person is going to hold me and that. Nobody can hold you. Nobody. I'm telling you that. Nobody can hold you. When you go in a position of persevering in your purpose, there's this energy that just comes all the time. People ask me sometimes, even especially my daughter, where do you get all this energy? You're never having a dull moment. Because I don't. I don't. Because it's not about me. The enablement of me being a representation of someone who can inspire various generations is an opportunity, is a privilege. It's a privilege that I cherish. It's a privilege I carry to my classroom when I'm teaching my students. It's a privilege I carry when I'm walking down the campus where I teach. It's a privilege when I walk into my place of worship. It's a privilege when I'm anywhere. I see it as a privilege. Because I see it as a privilege that is not about me, I persevere through the distractions and the disruptors. Because I know there are people leaning on my shoulders, and who are rightfully leaning on my shoulder by virtue of what made them attracted to me. I'm not going to sit back and fail them. No way. I'm not going to sit back and make them feel like, oh, I told you, she has been doing this. I knew she can't do it for a long time. I don't want that to be my testimony. Thankfully, the succession is here. I have kids who are showing up by the grace of God, who are also making impact in their generation, not even as a result of my own interest, as a result of them finding their passion. So your passion, your purpose might not be exactly the same as others, but your purpose should always be to make someone greater. There should be that inner drive to want someone to be greater, to be able to get their full potentials maximized. You don't lose anything when they maximize their potentials. If you're able to support, be part of history. If you think that it's too big for you to deal with, step aside. Even if you enlist yourself in that distractor, or like my daughter will call them, haters column, nothing will stop it. It might be delayed, but it's not going to be a denial. Why don't you align to be part of that history so that you can inspire other people to do more and be more? Let your purpose be your guide. When you let your purpose be your guide, guys, nothing can stop you. Some days you'll be tired, of course. Some days you'll be broke. Yes. Some days you'll feel alone. Yes. Leadership, if you talk to some great leaders, they will tell you it's lonely on the top. It's not lonely because people don't love them. It's lonely because they're carrying a lot of weight. And all of those people who love them, whether they're biological people or people who love them because they're leaders who have served in their capacities to inspire them, they don't want to fail those people. So they have to always figure, what can I do better so that that person who is leaning on my shoulder, who sees me as a go-to resource, don't ever give up. Because you might be that only resource. You might be that only music they listen to. You might be that only a video, that tape that unwinds. When you are positioning yourself or when you are representing, don't think it's about you. Whether you are a teacher, especially, I want to talk to my teachers for a moment. When you're in front of that classroom and you see those 25, 50, 7,500 eyes looking at you, yes, they're there to learn and you are going to teach. That's why we're teachers. We have our lesson plans. We do what we need to do to show up. But show up correct with your heart. Show up with your heart because you're going to be touching lives who need you to touch. They might have come to the classroom heavy-hearted, lonely, hungry. Be there to be someone who gives them the benefit of the doubt with the one singular assignment that you also want to be part of that source to help them to find their purpose. Sometimes when we're very young, it's not that easy to find your purpose because we are good at a lot of things. We like to do a lot of things. But when you start seeing those lot of things coming down to the same circle and the puzzles are beginning to fill, and now you say, I got it. I got it. Then you can move. But it takes a moment for those purpose-driven assignments and exercises to come to fruition. It takes a moment. During that moment, you might be that individual that is playing and replaying for that world. In case of us teachers, we're that replay that they see maybe 3 times a week or maybe 5 days a week. It might be for an hour. It might be for 2 hours. Hey, it makes a difference. What you say and what you don't say makes a difference. So as you today would listen or later listen, persevere in purpose. When you persevere in purpose, the impossibilities becomes possible because you're not carrying a weight for you. You are carrying weight. You're carrying also leisure and fun things for others. So together we can soar like eagles. We should not be trying to look for ways to pull ourselves down. when you're persevering in purpose, of course, persevering means you're persistent, you're grinding. Something is not just so easy, but you can keep doing it. You keep repeating it, finding ways, finding new circles to do. And then finally, you're getting closer. You don't even know that you're getting closer. But one thing that will make you know you're getting closer, the joy that radiates every time that you get to be in a position to provide solutions and to provide love for someone. There's a joy that comes from within. And I know you're like, the joy, how do I get paid? All of those things comes with it. It will come with it. When people do business with people they like and trust, when you build a trusting circle, when you build a trusted circle, when you persevere to understand that you receive everyone the way they are, till you can now influence them based on what you have done, what others around you have done. And when they see equity and justice and fairness, then you know you've done something great. That perseverance will lead to a purposeful life. Because what you want is a purposeful life. You want your purpose to be full enough that you are not just the beneficiary, that you see others. I think I was reading online once upon a time, and I believe it was Oprah that said something about someone saying that their legacy, that she was thinking that the book, I mean, has school that she has is going to be the legacy. And she was told, you know what? Your legacy is every life you touch every day. That's deep. It was Maya Angelou. I was trying to remember the name. It was every life you touch every day is your legacy. So if you receive that that is what it is, then every life you touch every day should feel your warmth of love. A smile doesn't kill anything. It's free, thank God. A hello doesn't kill. Even when the response is not positive, even if the response is a grudging response, it doesn't matter. Just keep on going and speaking and spreading the love. One day, that person who is always bitter about you greeting them, having offense to it, will be like, why is she always greeting me? They will come around. I remember, and I'll tell you the story and I'll wrap up because I have a few more minutes left. In my corporate experience, being a young girl, always looking professional because I was in banking, a teller. Even when I moved from a teller to being a customer service, I was still always looking good because, like I said before, bankers look good in my country. And I believe that wherever I go, I have to look good to represent. So I will come in, my background comes from the experience of you don't see people and not say hello. They don't have to be your friends. So I come from a cultural background that believes in respect, and that's how I was raised. So I will walk into the banking center. Oh, good morning, good morning. And one day somebody said, what is so good about the morning? Of course, I'm like, okay. Immediately, I knew it wasn't about me because I didn't do anything. I knew that person either woke up on the wrong side of the bed or they just got ruffled on the road. So I will quickly take my leave. I'll smilingly go to my office, smilingly crack my door half open so that I tune up from any of the distractions that's coming. What's so good about the morning? What do you say to such a person? You just have to feel sorry for them because that's not a normal answer. It doesn't mean that person is not normal. It just means that person is going through a moment that you going back at them in a negative way defeats the purpose. They are crying for help. I saw that as a cry for help. Later, the person came, and of course, my door was cracked open. Oh, like, well, Remy, da 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 da. You do the little cheat. Oh, you look good today. You busy? Not for you. I'm not too busy. What's up? Then, of course, a little stylish apologies, an explanation of why that remark came from the mouth of the individual. And I just kind of smiled and I, give my little advice. And I said, I knew it wasn't normal of you. It wasn't a right answer because all I said was good morning. If you don't see anything good about the morning, you asking me what's so good about the morning, I wasn't going to answer you because I know what's good about the morning, that I'm living in it is good. But that was not the right place to answer. But I knew something was wrong. So I said, I'm glad that you came. So Breed to Freedom is where you will be able to come and share some of these experiences and examples that I'm giving. And we're going to be able to decode it so that you never shut the door against your destiny. You're always going to need people, guys, to move up and move on. I didn't say all people will be on your corner or in your corner, by your corner. I didn't say that. But as a leader, a distinguished leader, if I may underscore, that will be from the Breed to Freedom mindset, you will be able to deal with everyone with respect. And I can assure you, you will not be distracted and derailed if you know that your goal is to do your best, and your best is to always come with a position of respect and kindness so that you dish out happiness to others. Even sometimes you are still perseveringly looking for how to find your own happiness, but you will, because every day you touch a life, if that's your goal, you are doing that. So I want to end here. I want to thank you. I know some of you are joining, some of you will join later. Thank you so much for being part of this movement. And please see the scrolling way for you to join our Facebook group. Please join. Let's begin this conversation on Thursday. We will get to interact live. I'm looking forward to seeing as many of you as can come. We will have a whole half an hour to talk about what's on our mind, live scenarios that we can take the deliverables back. This is an active oriented setting. It's not just to talk to you again. It's just to see how the talk will profit you. So thank you so much. Appreciate you all. Blessings, and take care of yourself and others.